What's up, everybody? It's your favorite One-Eye Willie's favorite nerd, and today we are looking at the Planet X Shockwave. It's been a while since I've looked at a Planet X figure, so I'm kind of excited. I think the last Planet X figure I looked at wasn't even a War for Cybertron, Fall of Cybertron take. I think it was one of their kind of like MP-ish, IDW-esque things they've been doing recently, which I'm kind of excited for the prospect of, or the potential of. But, you know, I've always respected this company because they just kind of stayed in their lane and did their own thing, like similar to MMC with Reformatted. So I'm anxious to take a look at it. Shout out to Tyler G. He sent this to me, covered shipping from Canada, so like that's no small feat, and I appreciate it honestly and sincerely. That being said, we're gonna take a look at this guy, but in order to do so, you know where we have to start, bro. Accessories. So what good is a Shockwave if it doesn't have his arm cannon? And this one is not for the faint of heart. This one is trying to take your whole head off. You know what I mean? All of these little bits are on their own separate hinges. It's two layers, like a great white shark's mouth, so to speak. And like, oh my God, it's just gorgeous. The paint on it is beautiful. It's this metallic purple paint, two different shades of it. You're going to hear that a lot throughout this review. It's not my fault they know how to do it, but they do. And they haven't always. So this is, like, to me, this is an improvement even on a company that I think is pretty good. Same for the back. The translucent piping looks good. Did I say? Yeah, for this. I'm not crazy about it for this. I do kind of like it for this because it kind of feels like energy moving from, and I don't really know if it's even supposed to look that way, but it looks like it's like almost like, zzz, you know what I mean? Like powering it. Whereas this, I would have preferred they'd not have done this that way. Because like if they did it with this lighter pink-ish purple metallic color there, like how gorgeous would that have been? But otherwise, pretty cool. Now, this tabs into his arm. It's this tab here that has to tab in, but as far as I can tell, it could go either on the top or the bottom because there's a tab, a female end on the top and the bottom of his forearm. So, and I'm sure there's like a ton of different configurations for this that you could use, and we'll just go ahead and flip that back. But I mean, like, that's pretty wicked, you know, and it looks like the game, like it's right in the pocket. Really well done. Now, there are some other options with this, and I will say, it's not holding together great. Like, it will plug in and you'll be fine for like a display or something, but like as you go to manipulate it around and you do, then it comes loose. They should have been, you know, he has female on both sides like we talked about. There should have been tabs on both sides too, and then I think it would have been fine. But even the tolerance on the tabs, just as I've been manipulating it, they're not the best. They're not terrible, but they're not the best. But there are other options. This is removable. Well, that's removable for one. That's removable. So you could have this. I'm not sure why you'd want to, but then you don't really do anything with that, and that's the cool part. And let's see. Then you could also plug this in, and now you have like the more G1. But like, I don't know, like I like my G1 to look, you know, G1. Like I wouldn't want something like this on my G1 Shockwave, but vice versa. You know, I don't want this on him. Like I want it to look, you know, like the game. Now the other thing that this can do to get ready for alt mode is you can lift this up and sort of pull these little translucent pieces out, and then separate. And it's an ornery little tab. Bring this piece, and these pieces fall out. Bring this piece up and around, but spin that 180. And you'll have something that looks like a speeder bike. And that's how you want it for alt mode. He also comes with a translucent blast effect. It's variations of a white to a darker purple at both ends. It's two separate pieces that are glued together would be my guess. I can't really tell. It looks like it to me. We'll have to see how it affects the weight of everything, but looks cool enough. I'm not a big fan of this sort of thing, but objectively, it's fine for what it is. And that will plug into the front of this. However, it doesn't take much for it to fail, which was my kind of concern with it. So, I don't know. It's kind of a plus if you really like this sort of thing, but if you don't like it, it's no big deal. Just put it in the box. That blast effect can also be used to plug in to the back of the jet mode. All right, so let's talk about the figure, finally. Even though it wasn't that many accessories, but I don't know why I said finally. I think just because I'm excited about it. We have this metallic purple, like just like on the accessories, and that lighter color purple throughout, and it looks gorgeous as a result, deco-wise. Even like the little accents there and there, along there on the back, like it's supposed to be like that glowing effect, and it doesn't pull off the glowing effect, to be fair, but it still looks good. There's even like a metallic gray, like a gunmetal gray in there as well. Translucent plastics, which you know I'm not crazy about, specifically on the eye, which I think is a huge misstep. But yeah, otherwise, I mean, just a beautifully, look at that metallic paint there on the knee joint, on the pistons in there. It's just beautifully decoed. So you're like, I'm just saying it now so that I don't have to continue saying it through while we're going over the whole figure. All right, for the shoulders, we'll start with the head, I guess. Let's get in like a tiger. So the head is on a ball peg, I think. No. It's on, yes. No, it's on a hinge swivel. Interesting, but it moves kind of like a ball peg. Huh. So you get up to there, which is nice, down to there. You can collapse it and make it look tighter. Perfectly done. Swivels. Love to see it. Look at the sculpted line work in there. Love to see it. Love to sculpt it, apparently. We have a waist swivel. Well done. We have shoulders. The shoulder pad is independently articulated on its own hinge, so that will help with articulation as well. But you only get up to 90 degrees, so that's not great. You get down, which is obviously, and then you get 360 around until you hit the backpack, and then you even get a butterfly joint. Not the greatest, but it's there. So good to see it. Love to see it. Then we have a bicep swivel. We have a single hinged elbow that gets you slightly more than 90 degrees. They got a little bit of like hollowness going on up in here, but they do have some sculpted pistons in there and stuff. It's not the biggest deal, but it is just because of how much like the beauty there is to this figure. Stuff like that is off-putting to me. Bicep swivel, did I say that? If I didn't, there it is. And then for the hands, we have a hinge in and out plus a wrist swivel. And then the fingers are on a base pin knuckle, but I got news for you. They are tight. I should have mentioned this earlier, but the hands can come off like on either side, so you can have the weapon on either side. Yeah, I'm uncomfortable moving this any further. So that's unfortunate. It might be because of the paint, hard to say, but not good. Then we have universals for hips, get you out to there. So should get you anything you want. Forward and back for the full Monty. Thigh swivel built around the universal, perfect. Double jointed knee, get you more than 90 degrees, so no issue there. We have a toe tilt up, not really an ankle tilt, but you can cheat it that way. A full ankle tilt down, and then not really a proper rocker either. It's like a toe rocker, but it'll work. So, and there it is from the back. And then these wings do kind of hinge, and you can actually even, you know, spread them wider, so to speak. So up to you, your call. Pretty cool stuff though. I mean, a really beautiful looking figure, and kind of spot on for what it's supposed to look like, you know? So well done. Size comparison wise, the only thing I really have him to compare him to is the Ratchet, which Tyler sent me as well, and we're going to look at as well. So he seems a little small to me based on this, but I can't remember exactly how he fits in with the game, and honestly, I think that he'll fit in fine. Like, it's close enough where it becomes negligible, like, for display or whatever. Like, ultimately, I'm okay if they're a little bit taller than Shockwave, or even if it was vice versa. But it was kind of off-putting at first glance, to me anyway, but not a huge deal. I'll tell you, this is a whole different ball of wax than this, so I'm kind of anxious to take a look at him as well. So let's get him transformed. We had to first put away the fist, but because my hinge is so tight, I can't get it to fit properly inside of it. So I'm just going to take it off, and then I'm going to open up this panel, flip that in, and open up this panel and kind of sit that out and pull the shoulder away from the body. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. We're going to open up, oh, there's the other hand. Tuck this away and close this up and open this up and then pull the shoulder out. Open the wings up, open that up, spin the wings around, and then open the chest up. Make sure that the head is squared up, so to speak, and push the head down. which will allow you to grab this piece and pull it out, as it were. Then you can take these little pieces here and flip them back. Now, what I love about this, that'll tab back into the back plate, by the way, is it reveals more detailings. This time the translucent light piping, but it has that like very specific look from the game. So love to see it. Now we're gonna bring the shoulders up and tab them in to here, as well as this tab going inside of the abdomen. Then bring this piece up and around, and this, that's hard to see. There's a female slot there, and then the tab here. So just angle it until you get it. And we'll do the same on this side. There. And then the wings have to come down and tab into there. However, there is a little bit of like, you have to kind of pull it, it seems like, which does not give you the warm and fuzzies, I can tell you. And I don't know of a better way to do it, but there you go. Spin the waist 180 and we'll get to work on the legs. So pull this piece, and you know, I don't have much. There we go. Pull this piece out and get that around. Bring that foot down and the toe down, but I think you're going to have the toe like kind of like this. And then this whole section will rotate. Where is it? If you untab it, it'll rotate on this peg here around to the other side. And we have a peg there, and it has to go in to the thigh, but in order to do so, you kind of have to like chicken walk them a bit, and then you'll see that it'll line up fairly easily. Same thing, open up. You can do this either way, so we'll just do that now. Spin this around. And then heel toe, right? And chicken walk them. And then tab this in, and actually it already was sitting in there, so good to go. All right, now unfortunately this is kind of the most frustrating part, and they saved it for last, but all of this has to integrate. So I don't know, this and this seems like the best two places to start. So we're gonna, you know, get that betwixt his legs, plug that into his back, plug this in there. So at least we have a solid connection there. And then the other thing that's like kind of, this tab here is connected to that leg, and this comes down into his nether regions. So let's try to get it. And that's not quite it, but oh, well, there it went. Pretty close anyway. Then these pieces come around and tab into here. They're on a double hinge, so they're not too bad. I don't know. Just if I could see what I was doing. And same on this side. And then I'll clean this up a bit later. You can see that's a bit off. What else do we have up here? So these pieces come around and peg into the side. And I'm not going to force that too much with that translucent plastic there. And then this piece, let's get these open. Spins around 180 to kind of fill out the kind of thruster. And there you have it. I'll clean it up a bit and we'll take a look at it. I mean, there it is. I've got it pretty much put together as well as I can. I feel like these pegs could go in a bit further if I really tried, but I'm not gonna kind of tempt fate there. I think this is really well done. Like, it looks just like it should. There's some smart transformation stuff going on with it. These are kind of fun to mess with. Plus, you know, the blast effect obviously kind of gives some, you know, and the, you know, works much better in that regard than it does for the gun effect. These wings do kind of articulate a bit. It's up to you how you want to have it, I guess. I'm not sure what the official way is. Yeah, I mean, like, look at that. Extra paint that comes through that gives it a little bit of an interesting look. The paint, like, it pays off in both modes, man, and it always does. Just really well done. I really wish it had a stand, you know, because while I think this looks very cool like this, it doesn't look as cool like that. Do you know what I mean? So if it had a stand, it would be a bit better. But yeah, otherwise, I think it's pretty good. I think it's well done. More importantly, there it is next to Tiger Tracks. So, yeah, sizable unit. Final thoughts-wise, let's talk about the negatives. So for one, the accessories, and namely that the gun doesn't tab in securely to the arm, and it has a tendency to come undone, much like Duran Duran in the early 90s. My other issue are some tolerance issues. For instance, in the hand, the way that the knuckles are pinned, you know, I just had to kind of abandon ship on the hand in order to kind of make it work, which is a bummer. And then kind of getting some of the tolerances at the end to kind of line up with the accessory being utilized to kind of finish off the jet mode. That didn't always work as well as I would have liked it to as well. And honestly, man, that's it. The good far outweigh the bad here. First and foremost, and most striking about it, is how beautifully it's painted. It's painted pretty much from top to bottom with multiple different metallic paints, all of which adding a striking aesthetic to the figure itself. On top of that, really well articulated. No ab crunch, but with the exception of that, pretty much perfect. The materials feel good. With the exception of the hands, the tolerances are really well done. And the transformation, with the exception of getting that last little bit to kind of all plug in, is fun, intuitive, enjoyable, and unique. This is a really, really, really well executed figure. Strong recommend from me if you're in for the line or the aesthetics or love the game. If you need an excuse to get this, let me be that excuse. Really well done. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.